If you're looking for a set top-heavy with Hall of Fame rookies, you won't do much better than 1986 Topps football cards. Okay, so maybe 1984 Topps football cards would have something to say about that matter, but heck, even if you're more interested in rookie cards of guys who were superstars for a while, or superstars who just haven't quite made the Canton cut yet, well, 1986 Topps football has you covered there too. And mid-career cards of Hall of Famers, yep, those are here too. So now that you're probably frothed up for some classic gridiron cardboard, here is a list of the most valuable 1986 Topps football cards as culled from the PSA Sports Market Report Price Guide, PSA 9 condition. Who is the greatest receiver in NFL history? By most objective standards, you'd have to go with Jerry Rice. And for most fans, Rice would pass the more subjective eye test as the greatest too. Rice wasn't the absolute fastest man on the field, but he was always where he needed to be, at the ball. In the end, after a 21-year stay in the league, Rice held most meaningful career marks, and still does. Those marks include receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns, in case you were wondering. And while he still doesn't hold many single-season marks, he's near the top for those as well. Throw in 3 Super Bowl rings, a Hall of Famer bust, and mad dancing skills, and you have a guy who has been at the top of collector want lists for decades. That goes double for the 1986 Topps Jerry Rice rookie card, which sells for $450 or more in PSA 9 condition these days. It's kind of ironic that Rice and Young appear on this list in this order. While the 49ers selected Rice in the first round, 16th overall, of the 1985 NFL Draft, he wasn't a big name to most fans. Young, on the other hand, was a hotshot quarterback from Brigham Young who had already signed with the Los Angeles Express of the USFL when the 1984 NFL supplemental draft rolled around. That draft allowed NFL teams to claim first rights to college seniors who had committed to the USFL or the Canadian Football League in case anything happened to the startup league. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers took Young with the first pick that supplemental round, and they were there waiting when the USFL folded in 1985. After a couple of ugly seasons in Tampa, the Bucs shipped Young off to San Fran for some draft picks and cash. With Joe Montana in front of him, Young was destined to be a backup, and he was, until 1991, when he played well enough at age 30 to convince the Niners to move on from their legendary quarterback. Within a few years, Young to Rice had the team back in the Super Bowl and Young on the path to Canton. Today, his 1986 Topps rookie card, showing him with Tampa Bay, sells for around $300 in PSA 9. No one was bigger than William Perry when it came to pure size as the 1985 Chicago Bears romped to the Super Bowl title. And no one was bigger than the Fridge when it came to personality and fan love either. Dude could move mountains with his body and light up a room with his smile, all of which made him a collector favorite. Much of that glow still gloms to his rookie card, which today goes for $150 or so in PSA 9 condition. The Minister of Defense made an immediate impact after coming over to the Philadelphia Eagles from the Memphis Showboats of the USFL in 1985. That season, White recorded 13 sacks and started building the legend that would feed perfectly into the NFL's first free agent class of 1993. Signing with the Green Bay Packers for a huge sum, Reggie lived up to the hype, continuing to rack up double-digit sacks and helping Titletown find its old Super Bowl winning ways in 1996. This 1986 Topps rookie card reflects White's status as one of the game's all-time greatest defensive linemen with a $65 price tag for PSA 9 copies. You may not think that center is a very glamorous position, especially for a list like this, and you'd be right. But the thing about Jay Hilgenberg is that he provided one of the missing pieces for the Walter Payton Bears and allowed them to finally break through. For years, Payton and his quarterback struggled behind an unsteady offensive line that heaped a load of extra work on Sweetness just to get his yard. By 1985, though, Hilgenberg had been on the job for 4 years, and he turned in his first Pro Bowl performance that season, as Peyton, Jim McMahon, Willie Gault, and other offensive weapons stepped up to complement the all-time dominant defense. For his place in history, and still with a chance to make the Canton cut, this Hilgenberg rookie card is a $40 item in PSA 9 condition. Bavaro was pure electricity when he first combined with Phil Simms to ignite the New York Giants offense in 1985. The big tight end hauled in 37 catches for 511 yards as a rookie, then went crazy with 66 receptions and 101 yards in 1986. That latter campaign helped the G-Men to a title, and Bavaro would be on hand for a second ring in 1992. Big performances in the big city made Bavaro a collector favorite, and his rookie card sells for around $50 in PSA 9 these days. In 1986, Ancient Charlie Joyner, he was 39, returned for one last go-around with the San Diego Chargers. That season, he caught 34 balls for 440 yards, which left him as the all-time leader with 12,146 receiving yards. Joyner has been passed by many men since, but he remains an all-time great, and his last base Topps card is a $40 buy in PSA 9 condition. Topps did issue a Joyner record-breaking card in 1987. Clark is best known for the catch that helped the 49ers defeat the Dallas Cowboys in the 1981 NFC Championship game and kicked off San Fran's 1980s dynasty. But Clark was a big-bodied receiver who remained a favorite Joe Montana target throughout his career, and a favorite of collectors everywhere. This 1986 Topps Clark card sells for north of $30 in graded mint condition. Dent was a marquee name on one of the greatest defenses in history during the Bears' 1985 run to glory. In fact, the defensive end led the NFL with 17 sacks and 7 forced fumbles, and he even scored an interception return. To top all that off, Dent was named MVP of Super Bowl XX, where the Bears manhandled the New England Patriots. All told, Dent played for 15 years in the league, including 12 with Chicago, and was elected to the Hall of Fame in 2011. The 1986 Dent is a $30 card in PSA 9. After breaking Jim Brown's all-time mark for career rushing yards in 1984, Peyton was back on the record-breaking train in 1985. So which record did he take down in that championship season? Well, he ran off 9 straight games with at least 100 yards rushing, breaking the previous record of 8 held by O.J. Simpson and Earl Campbell. This card commemorating Peyton's new mark sells for around $30 in PSA 9 today. Marcus Allen also ran for 100 in 9 straight later in 1985 season. For most of his career and for many years after, Joe Montana was considered by many in and around the game to be the greatest quarterback ever. More recent superstars like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady may have surpassed Montana in the eyes of some, but Joe will always be a fan and collector favorite. This 1986 Topps Montana is a $30 card in slabbed mint condition. Mann worked himself up from a third-round pick in 1983 to a Pro Bowl career at defensive end with the Washington Redskins. Along the way, he recorded 83 sacks and picked up 3 Super Bowl rings, including one as a reserve for the Niners at the end of his career in 1994. Today, Mann's 1986 Topps rookie card sells for around $30 in PSA 9. If you like this video, remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel, waxpackgods.com.